Hi there, I'm Ling Epson, leadership coach, also known as Coach Ling. Today, I want to talk about psychological safety. So, for those of you who might be new to this term, it's made popular by Amy Edmondson, Harvard Business School professor. She defined psychological safety as a belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes. So, why is this important? So, a couple of years ago, Google did a study called Project Aristotle. And part of that is them wondering what makes a great team. Is it, the education they have? Is it because they have to be co-located? So they, as you know, Google, they studied 180 teams, multiple different factors that they've considered, and they were able, I think it was a 2-year study, and they were able to reach the conclusion that there were 5 factors that make a team great. In order of importance, number 1, most important attribute of a good team, or I would say a great team, is psychological safety. Followed by dependability, structure and clarity, meaning, is the work meaningful to the team members, and impact. So today I want to talk about psychological safety because it's so important, and sometimes I can go into a team and I can tell there's no psychological safety. And you can tell, and that's the reason why the team is a little dysfunction. There's no trust. So now that we know psychological safety is about voicing your concerns, mistakes, and taking a personal risk to do that, and not feeling like you'll be punished by your team, or not feeling like you're being punished by your manager. This allows team members to talk about problems, that they're seeing that sometimes other people can see. So this is such an important attribute. So in the past, I've always wondered, okay, now that we know psychological safety is really important for teams, then what? How do we build that? We can talk about it. We can, always remind the teams, hey, make sure, it's a blameless activities. Our retro, please talk about any risk, any problems. That's one way of fostering psychological safety. But sometimes I feel that's not quite enough. So I've been reading this book that I've really enjoyed, but it's taking me a while to really kind of go through the whole book, because it's just so much to it. And I'll put the link down in the video below to kind of give you a link to the book if you want to really further dive into what psychological safety means and how to foster psychological safety. So the book is by Timothy R. Clark. It's called The 4 Stages of Psychological Safety. This is a really good book because, in my opinion, because I feel it really dive into the so what. We know it's important, but what's the next step I can take to really foster it? So it talks about stage 1 of psychological safety is inclusion safety. Inclusion safety means, our basic human need to connect and belong. So for example, if all of your team is located in the same city or the same time zone, and then you hire somebody new from a completely different time zone, maybe it's a time zone that's very, very difficult. So for that team member, inclusion safety is really important to make that person feel like part of a team. So for inclusion safety, if I'm the leader of that team, what I might do is, instead of having a social hangout at the usual 3 o'clock Friday Eastern time, which will not work for this team member because this team member, let's say, is in 5 hours ahead. London time, you'll be, 8 p.m. That's kind of late for somebody to join a call on a Friday, right? So inclusion safety sometimes is shifting that, maybe shifting that to an 11 o'clock, maybe on a Thursday instead of a Friday. So this helps making this new person feel included. Okay, so that's stage 1. So stage 1, everybody would need to feel included first. And then after they feel included, they want to feel that they have learner safety. So stage 2 learner safety means the basic human need to want to learn and grow. So what this means is maybe fostering, helping somebody, when they come in new, is, hey, this is your time to learn. Our expectation is this. There are no silly questions. Keep asking. You're here for a reason. We hired you because you're good. So there are no silly questions, and we want you to ask, and ask. Just keep asking. You're here to learn for the first 3 months. You need to build contacts. So learner safety is letting this new person maybe joining your team to know they have permission to really be a student again. Being vulnerable, asking questions that may be deemed silly, and not feeling like they're humiliated. So once they go through that ability to feel safe to learn, now is to contribute safely. So contributor safety means, our basic need to want to contribute, to want to make a difference. So once they've learned, are they able to contribute? As a leader, am I giving them that autonomy to contribute in the way that they best know how, and in the way that I think they can, based on their skill, based on their experience? So sometimes what this means is really trying to figure out and cater to how they best want to contribute, and sometimes letting go and not micromanaging them, or sometimes maybe hand-holding them a little bit more, because depending on the person, they may need a little bit more hand-holding at the beginning, and then you're okay to kind of let them go, and then allowing them to contribute the way they can. So to recap quickly, once they feel included, inclusion safety, they feel they can learn, learner safety, contribute, contributor safety. And the last one is challenger safety. So usually a lot of teams, I find this is the stage that they really struggle with. So challenger safety means, satisfying our need to make things better. So giving us is having the confidence to be able to ask questions like, oh, why do we do it this way? Have we thought about this? What kind of assumptions are we making when we're proposing this? So I find a lot of people may have challenger safety when it comes to challenging their own manager. So as a leader, it's allowing the team that flexibility, that confidence to challenge you in a safe way. It might not feel good as a leader to be challenged all the time, but knowing that when the team has strong psychological safety, has strong challenger safety, it will make you a better leader because you're able to hold that space for them. You make the team better because they're able to actually self-organize and challenge and figure out a better way to do things. And at the end of the day, have greater impact, have a better result, do things faster. So challenger safety is really letting the team members feel okay that if they challenge you, they will not be penalized in performance review or negatively by their team members. So there we have it. Psychological safety, such a big term, feeling safe to take risk. But when you boil it down, these 4 stages, I really love that. Inclusion, learner, contribute, challenge. Does your team feel included? Do they feel safe to learn? Do they feel safe to contribute? Do they feel safe to challenge? During retros, during status meeting, check-in meetings, project kickoff, project breakdown sessions, do they have the opportunity to do these 4 things, to feel that indeed this team has strong psychological safety? And when this team does, you can feel assured that this will be a great team because you're able to really foster this psychological safety, which I find can be difficult to foster. So I hope this is helpful and demystify psychological safety for you. And I recommend getting the book. It's a really good book. All right, let me know in the comments below if you have further questions or if you have any suggestions on how I can make this better. All right, take care. Bye.